Alrighty, guys, we have been waiting for this for a long time. I know there were leaked trailers out there from D23. I, maybe saw a couple of them. I saw a couple of stills from them, certainly, but didn't really see the full trailer because I was waiting. I was like, guys, we're going to see a trailer eventually. Sure enough, and we had some news here that the trailer had been delayed actually a little bit because of the really horrific and tragic fires that are going on in LA. And again, I want to reiterate our thoughts and prayers with everyone there. But, the Vincent D'Onofrio, I think, confirmed on social media that the trailer had been delayed originally because maybe it was going to come out late last week and then it got pushed. But we have finally got our first official trailer for Daredevil Born Again. Now, just for a little bit of context here before we get into my thoughts, Daredevil Born Again originally going to be 18 episodes long, and it was not going the direction that Marvel wanted it to, right? People thought, it's great, 18 episodes, Daredevil's coming back, Kingpin's coming back, we've seen them both in the MCU, Spider-Man No Way Home was Matt Murdock's debut in the MCU, and then he came back in She-Hulk, and Echo later on, and Wilson Fisk was first in Hawkeye, which people didn't seem to like. I liked it, I thought it was fun, and then he was in Echo later on as the main villain, and so these two characters were then going to come back in Daredevil Born Again. But then Kevin Feige was like, nope, not good enough. This show is not good enough right now. So they went back to the drawing board and they officially announced it was going to be a continuation of the original 3-season Daredevil show. So you brought back Karen Page and Foggy Nelson, who were originally not going to be a part of the show. They went back completely to the drawing board. I think they still have used some stuff from the original, but they said, we're going to do this right. We're going to do this right. And so now, instead of being 18 episodes, the first season is going to be 9, and then the second season is also going to be 9. So that is sort of the original plan, I suppose. One of the things about the original season that we heard about is that it was going to be much more procedural, and it was, Daredevil wasn't even going to get into the suit until episode 4 or something like that, which was disappointing for a lot of people. And so they went back and I suppose they fixed that as well. And now we have our first trailer for Daredevil Born Again. It looks awesome. Now, just to kind of pivot to Star Wars really quickly to give an analogy here. I love that we live in a world where we can have both Andor and Skeleton Crew in the same universe. I loved Skeleton Crew. We're going to talk, talking about the finale, right? I loved Skeleton Crew, right? We talked about the finale, but I think it's so fun and it brings the joy. I also really like Andor, right? I think Andor is a really gritty but dramatic and a great, great series. And so I love that they can both exist in the same world. I love that, I can enjoy a show like a comedy, like Friends, for example, and also love a show like The Penguin, which is just such a brutal and dark show, right? And so, all that to say, I think the MCU is very much the same. I love that we can have shows like Miss Marvel, for example, with the tone of a coming of age and just an earnest kid trying to do the right thing and all that kind of stuff, and have a film like Deadpool and Wolverine, which is still, it has the violence in common with Deadpool and with Daredevil Born Again, but it has more of an irreverence, it has a comedic style. I love we can have that and Daredevil Born Again, because this looks so good in a completely different way than a Miss Marvel or a Deadpool and Wolverine. It has the drama. One of the things about Daredevil, the original series that I love so much, it was so good, is the fact that it took itself so completely seriously, right? And I think that some shows, take themselves too seriously, but I think that some other shows, you need to take it seriously. Like it's a serious show, and Daredevil certainly was that. And so in this trailer, I love the scenes where we get the conversation between Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk. What we heard is that there's going to be maybe a little less physical confrontation between Matt and Wilson, because what the director, or maybe even Vincent D'Onofrio, said was that, if the two confront each other, it's going to be a fist fight to the death. And so they were like, yeah, we gotta sort of, pick our moments and pick our battles, right? And I love that they're talking here almost as equals, right? Talking like, hey, I know who you are. I know what you've done. Let's talk about it. And then the action looks amazing. And who knows if we're ever going to get another hallway fight? Who knows? But like something to that caliber. But the action looks amazing. We get flashes of all the characters that we know are going to be in this show. We get to see obviously Karen and Foggy. We see White Tiger a little bit. We see Muse. I think we see Bullseye as well. We get to see Punisher again. That's a great scene where he's like, Frank, put down the hammer, and then he obviously doesn't. I think we even see Vanessa Fisk, the original actress, because originally they were going to recast her. And so, they went back and they were like, no, we're going to make this a continuation. So I think it's the same actress from the original Daredevil series, and it looks fantastic. I have no idea what the story is going to be. And you know what I love too, though? This this is kind of underrated, and I don't know if other people are going to think the same way. Some people might actually hate this, honestly, but I love it. I love the fact that we get a shot at the very end of the trailer where he's looking at all the helmets, right? And we do see, I think we do see the She-Hulk helmet in there. And look, I know people don't like She-Hulk that much. I thought it was, actually, I rewatched it, and you can go check out my rewatch video on the YouTube channel. I thought it was better than I remembered it being. Not my favorite by any means, but I thought it was definitely better than I remember. And Tatiana Maslany was great. And you know what else was great? Daredevil in She-Hulk was great. I thought Daredevil, for the one action scene he was in Echo, was great. I loved him. So, and obviously he was great in Spider-Man No Way Home as Matt Murdock. So I don't think he's ever missed in the MCU. I really don't. And I think that, I think for what it's worth, I think all the stuff about everything he did with She-Hulk, while I don't need She-Hulk to be the supporting character, because it frankly just doesn't seem like it's going to fit the tone of the show. Totally fine. I wouldn't be opposed though to Jennifer Walters, like the alter ego of She-Hulk, just appearing, Tatiana Maslany just appearing in one episode just to, I don't know, say hi or something like that. Like have him be on the phone with her. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that it's good because it's a continuation, sure, of the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, but it's also firmly establishing. But he also has done some other stuff. He's gone to LA, had some fun, and he's been in the MCU. Like this is MCU's Daredevil, and it's Netflix's Daredevil. And I think that that's also equally as exciting as well. Muse looks terrifying, right? Muse looks terrifying. Kingpin also terrifying, but I think it's going to be a little bit more of a cerebral Kingpin in this season. That's my guess, at the very least. We saw an interesting version of Kingpin in Echo where he was he kind of got thwarted by childhood trauma at the end of Echo. I need to rewatch Echo at some point when we do our Phase 5 rewatch. Hopefully sometime soon. As soon as I said this before, but as soon as Ironheart, I think, is the last project in Phase 5, which is kind of strange. As soon as Ironheart comes out, then we'll kind of start our Phase 5 rewatch after the DCEU rewatch wraps up as well. But anyways, I'm curious to see how Echo maybe ties into Wilson Fisk, because the post-credit scene for Echo was the lead-in to Daredevil Born Again about now he's mayor of New York City. And I wonder, I'm not saying Spider-Man should show up in the series at all. I'm just saying, do we get hints of that? Like, he says to Wilson Fisk, I see that you're not a vigilante anymore. And then could he make reference to, there's that other vigilante that we've been trying to chase around, the one who wears the red and blue costume and swings around the city. We've been trying to get him for a while. Could there be a little hint? I don't know. It could be exciting. But anyways, guys, I watched the Daredevil Born Again trailer, and I thought, yeah, this is everything that you'd expect that, you'd want from a Daredevil Born Again trailer. It was just gritty and dark, but it had the Matt Murdock moments. It had all the things that you'd want from the trailer. I love the shot where the mask is falling down from the roof. I think it's great to see Punisher, Bullseye, White Tiger, Muse, get to see all the different characters, and I think we're in for a really exciting series. Now, as to whether we're going to get another trailer, I doubt it. Usually, actually, these Disney Plus MCU series only have one trailer, so I think this is it, guys. It's mid-January. This series is coming out in about 6 weeks. Isn't that crazy? February is short, right? February is only 4 weeks, so yeah, Daredevil Born Again, I think, is coming out in 6.5 weeks, and that's crazy. So, cannot wait to talk about that series with you guys when that does come out. But in the meantime, what did you think about this trailer for Daredevil Born Again? Was it everything you'd hoped it would be, or are you disappointed, or maybe even more excited than before? Let me know in the comments down below.